Hi guys, so Dr. Angie here, and it's like, take two in the movie. So we shot this video live and then we had a few little sound issues. So this one should be coming through with sound. So again, welcome to Dr. Angie in less than 10 minutes. And this week I'm going to be talking about, so I think my kids got autism, ADD, or dyslexia, or some other long label or acronym. Now what? Help me, help my child. And so that is what we're going to be talking a little bit about today. And as I look back on my life experience as a pediatrician and now as a Davis facilitator and as a mom, I can remember 15 years ago when I started into this whole journey through that soup that is learning differences. There's so much that's known and there's so much that's not known. And I remember going from that place of my mommy intuition of, I think there's something wrong, I think there's a problem, to the knowing of, I know there's something wrong, I know that there's a problem, but now what? And from that point on, now what became my mantra. So as I went to help from the school, and they gave me a few little answers and those didn't work. And then I said, now what? And then I went to an outside educational therapist, had some testing done and got a litany of labels and diagnoses. And then I thought, now what? And I took that information back to the school, and the school said, okay, well, let's do this next step. Let's institute this. And that didn't help. And I said, now what? And what I realized after all of that was I needed to find out myself, because I wasn't getting the answers that I needed. The things that were occurring weren't helping. So I needed to figure out now what on my own. So I started to do a lot of research, found the Davis program, which ended up being our ultimate now what for my kiddo, to help him flourish and find his true potential and for him to show up and how he was placed on this earth to show up. So we are always asking as parents, when we're concerned about our kiddos, now what? Help me, help me. And what I know as a pediatrician, as a licensed Davis facilitator, and more importantly, as a mom, what I realized after going through everything that I've gone through is that there are three things you need to know as a parent to help your kiddo participate fully in life. There's three keys you need to know to unlock the genius that your kiddo is here to be. And so are you interested in those three keys? Yeah, they're pretty simple. Number one, understanding. Really, you need to make this a part of your life where you are delving in to understand what is going on with your kiddo. Many people who are watching this, who are listening to this, have children, loved ones, or maybe themselves that have characteristic symptoms. They may have a diagnosis, they may not, it doesn't matter, but they may have symptoms and characteristics that put them somewhere on that spectrum from dyslexia to autism, with ADD and dysgraphia and dyspraxia and dyscalculia and all those other types of acronyms and names all within there. But what I know is that regardless of what the label is, when we educate ourselves on understanding the reasoning and logic behind why they're exhibiting the symptoms, characteristics, and behaviors that they're exhibiting, we automatically increase our tolerance. When we understand that our little kiddo or our loved ones, yeah, these can be spouses, these can be ourselves, are not trying to be disobedient. We're not trying to go against the rules. We're not trying to just create upheaval within the family, that we are exhibiting these symptoms and characteristics for an actual reason. We increase our tolerance. I actually had a phone call this morning. This was this morning with a dad who had called, and this gentleman had been researching to try to find something to help his children, and he fell across the Davis program, and that prompted the call. So he was in this place of increases in his understanding. Then we got on the phone and deepened his understanding as well. So now he's like, oh, now I get it. I get parts of that. That makes so much sense. And we can get to that place. Again, we increase our tolerance. We increase our patience. What also the understanding allows us to do is that when we understand why a certain behavior is being exhibited, we can go into that mommy, that daddy, that teacher place, that heart of ours that knows that kiddo specifically, and begin to even come up with our own ways that we can react or respond in that situation. And from an place of understanding why they are behaving the way they are. So knowledge is power. Now, when I'm talking about understanding and reasoning and logic behind what's going on with these individuals on the spectrum, I'm not here. I do not proclaim to understand the why. I cannot understand or explain to you why we have autism or there's an increase in it, why ADD, why dyslexia. All I can tell you is they're here, huge part of the population. They are increasing in their presence here. So wouldn't it be wonderful for us to have a good understanding of why they exhibit the behaviors and characteristics that they do? So that's number one. Get some knowledge, get some understanding. Number two, support. When I say support here, I'm not talking about support for you as the parent or the teacher. That's very, very important. I actually have a whole nother series about self-care and taking care of self. But when I say support here, what I'm talking about is supporting your loved one and who they are here to be. Every single human being walking this planet has some innate gift. They have some innate genius within them. Genius is not just measured in IQ. That is only one type of genius. There are several types of genius. And it may manifest as intellect. It may manifest as ability to invent. It may manifest in creativity. It may manifest in ability to build. If you've got these little kiddos that can pour Legos out of a box, throw the box behind them and build something amazing, that's genius. That's genius. So when we can support them in who they're here to be in that genius and back up away from societal institutions and societal agreements that say someone should be like this or someone should be fixed because they have a label that they have gotten from the medical community. We need to move back away from that and not identify these children as my autistic son, my dyslexic son, or my ADD son. This is my Noah. This is my Joey. This is my Betty, right? And they are a genius in this way. And they happen to have some characteristics that people would identify as this. And then we can go into the next part of this to help them overcome the obstacles. But being a support of them is helping them to find the genius within them, moving back onto their side of the table and getting back in their court to support them in who they're here to be. Super important for their well-being and for them to be able to participate fully in life. And number three, is you need a plan, right? You need to figure out what you can do to help your individual, your loved one, or yourself participate fully in life, right? Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing and expecting a different outcome, right? So if you're thinking, I grew out of it, they'll grow out of it. I figured it out, they figured it out. If I just discipline them more, it'll make it better. How's that been working for you? Probably not so well, right? If you're thinking that it will just change, then what I would say is that that's insane. If you don't do something different, nothing different is going to happen. So what can we do? We need to create a plan. Now that's easier said than done. But the plan is the answer to now what? Now what do I do? I have some understanding. I'm ready to get back in my kiddos' court and support them, but I need a plan. So what we're going to be doing is helping you with that, helping you devise a plan, a general plan, because we're going to be doing it with a large group of people on a live stream event, but we will help you to be able to know what your next step will be. So what I'd like to do is to invite you to a first live stream event we're going to be doing here at Dr. Angie's Place on July 8th and July 9th. And it's going to be the beginning of a series. And that series is going to be called Unlock the Genius, how to help you help your child. And the first one in that series will be day 1, July 8th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And day 1, we're going to be talking about unlock the genius of dyslexia and ADD and ADHD, how to help your child focus and learn easily with increased self-control and self-confidence. On day 2, we're going to be talking about unlock the genius of autism and sensory integration disorder. And that is going to be how to help your child fully participate socially and decrease sensory overload and overwhelm. So if you're watching this on the website, if you go right down below, there's a video that talks about that event. There's a button, it's over there or over there, that you can press to register for that event. Now, we do have limited space in that event. Our software will only handle 100 participants. We've got about 65 now, so we've got about 35 more slots that I'm hoping you will sign up for. So, 3 keys. You need a key to unlock something. These keys will help you unlock the genius of your loved one. Yeah, so we hope to see you there July 8th and 9th. And I'd like to say, I love you, keep it simple, and hope to see you next week. Take care.